Hey Sarah, I wanted to do a video this time, but starting with Williams and the rest is resistance, what we spoke about in class. I loved talking about that. Pretty much everything excited and intrigued me about that. It was really hard to just skim it, like, because it just was so interesting to me. It's something that I would literally watch in my, not watch, but read in my own spare time. And I also found it very interesting that this is what we were speaking about in class, because it's something that I'm implementing in my life, like right now. And I think I mentioned it in class, but it's something that I just started implementing very recently. So for us to start talking about it in class, I just felt like it was so aligned. So much about it excited me because it's literally something that I'm deconditioning within myself, feeling a lack of worth when I'm not on the go 24/7. And one of the things I love that they said was being able to rest as a form of liberation. Something that really stood out was she said rest is our protest, rest is resistance, and rest is reparations. Nothing but a word. Because I'm a Black woman, obviously, and watching them and seeing my people, just the struggles that they've had to go through and how hard they've had to literally hustle their entire lives, not getting any form of rest, and the fact that they would feel shame when they did have time to rest, just living to survive. I watched a lot of that growing up. So her saying rest is protest and like resistance and reparations, I really resonated with that. My perspectives were often validated because, like I said, I'm going through this myself. And something that I actually wrote before I even read this was that attaining wealth and success through joy, pleasure, peace, alignment, and divine inspiration is a literal act of protest. That's something that we as a society have not been conditioned to even believe is possible. One thing I wish everyone could take away from this is how we have the power to deconstruct and decondition ourselves, because life can be easy. That was even hard for me to say that. I felt weird saying that. Like, life can be easy, life can be enjoyable, life can have a beautiful balance between work and rest, and you can still create like a huge amount of success. People have done it already. It's just, I'd say my favorite quote, or one of my favorite quotes that really stood out to me, was when she said, there are more than two options. When she said there are more than two options, the possibilities are infinite, although living under a capitalist system is to be confronted with a model of scarcity. She really ate with that one, because it's so true. They make it seem like we're so limited and that we don't have the power to live life on our own circumstances. They created this illusion that we are powerless, like we don't have any control over how we attain certain things in life. To also quickly talk about William in the beyond criticism dance composition classroom thing. I also think I said William for the other one, and her name is not Williams. It's definitely Hersey, but sorry. Yes, I also really enjoyed this one, and as a dancer, I could resonate with it. Growing up in the dance world, it's so true how when it's time to get criticism as a dancer, at least from my experience, it has not always been the nicest thing. It has not always been super nice. Granted, probably who I was surrounded with, people were pretty harsh when it came to giving criticism. I genuinely feel like it's a beautiful way to come about critiquing someone's art, because I think like you said in class, sharing your art is very vulnerable. So when it comes to people critiquing it, it kind of can be a little scary. And when we did it in class, like, I loved it, because I'm very used to people being harsh. Not gonna lie, very used to people being harsh. So this was a very nice step away from what I'm used to. Something that really stood out to me was the asking of, are you open to receiving opinions and things like that, because a lot of times people just give their unsolicited advice. It's definitely always helpful, but sometimes people can be rude, or even if they're not being rude, sometimes it's just like it can be a bit not unnecessary, but sometimes, like I said, sometimes people just be doing a bit much. It just be so yeah, my perspectives were definitely renewed. Nothing really confused me, and one thing I wish someone or everyone could take away from this is, I think she stated how this is used to enhance community's conversation. I really feel like it's a really good way to create valuable criticism, if that makes sense, rather than just giving unhelpful advice. Yeah, like she said, well, she didn't say this, but they said it creates a valuable dialogue between an artist and the audience and offers guidelines intended to keep that dialogue constructive and informative. I feel like that's a really cool takeaway, because a lot of people don't do that. I think a quote that stood out the most to me to end this off was when they stated, "This method for offering suggestions is less invasive than simply telling the artist one solution." I like that quote. And I'm going to end it there because I think I was talking too much. But yes, bye.